Most of us think of aging as something that happens naturally over time. But scientists are beginning to ask a different question. What if some of the environments we've built are actually speeding that process up? New research on PFAS, the so-called forever chemicals, suggests that might be happening. These chemicals are known as PFAS, and they're called forever chemicals for a pretty unsettling reason. They don't break down. Not in the environment and not easily in our bodies either. They've been used for decades in everyday products. Non-stick cookware, waterproof clothing, food packaging, firefighting foam, even stain-resistant furniture. Because of that, PFAS have spread into our water, our soil, and ultimately into us. Researchers have found traces of PFAS in the blood of most Americans tested. Now, a new study is suggesting something even more concerning. Higher levels of certain PFAS chemicals may be linked to accelerated biological aging in men, particularly men in middle age. And when scientists say biological aging, they're not talking about wrinkles or gray hair. They're talking about epigenetic aging, changes in the way our DNA functions that can signal a higher risk for diseases like heart disease, metabolic disorders, and other age-related conditions. In simple terms, someone might be chronologically 55, but their body could be functioning more like it's 60 or 65. Researchers believe PFAS may interfere with things our bodies rely on to stay healthy over time, like inflammation control, hormone balance, and DNA repair. Now, to be clear, the science is still evolving. Studies like this show associations, not definitive proof of cause and effect. But the pattern is strong enough that scientists and public health experts are paying very close attention. What makes this issue especially complicated is that PFAS exposure usually isn't something individuals choose. It's environmental. It can come from drinking water, local industry, or products that have been in circulation for decades. So this story isn't really about individual lifestyle choices. It's about how the environment we create eventually shows up inside our bodies. The idea that pollution might not just harm ecosystems, but could actually shift the biological timeline of human aging, raises some big questions for public health, policy, and the way we think about long-term environmental exposure. Research like this reminds us that environmental health and human health are never really separate stories. They're the same story unfolding over decades. And if chemicals can accumulate slowly over time, their consequences may also take years to fully understand. Which is why conversations about PFAS aren't just about contamination. They're about the future health of entire communities.